This Climbing the Mountain podcast is brought to you by Encova Insurance. Hard work and passion are critical components of any winning strategy. Count on Encova Insurance as your local team to provide peace of mind. Welcome into Climbing the Mountain, a video podcast brought to you by Encova Insurance and Country Roads Trust. We are West Virginia's name, image, and likeness team. You can find out more information about our memberships at join.countryroadstrust.com. I'm Amanda Mazey. He is Darius Stills. Darius, a breath of fresh air around the building today.
Yeah, I can just sense the energy, with the coaches and with everybody in here that got a little, like you said, a little breathing room. But at the same time, you gotta just keep on going. Now we got a win underneath our belt, so we just gotta just keep on stacking. And we start at VTech.
Exactly. All right, and let's welcome in ShaDon Brown, coach. Thank you so much for joining us, co-defensive coordinator, defensive backs coach. Let's talk about that 65-7 win over Towson. You guys did exactly what you were supposed to do. Besides getting a win, besides the morale boost, what does that win do for you?
Well, I think, you mentioned morale. I think it gives you a little bit of confidence. We got to play a lot of players in that game with some players that hadn't played a lot in the first two that could play significant snaps down the road. We need to build some depth. I think that anytime on defense you can have 2 and 3 players deep at a position, it only helps you down the stretch when you start to get injuries and get nicks and banged up throughout the year. So I thought it created some confidence and created some depth for us.
And let's talk about that defense. Didn't give up any points. You must have been really pleased with that performance.
Yeah, we knew going in that we were a better football team, but anytime you're a better football team, you need to play like it. And I thought we played like it on defense and didn't give up any cheap ones. And I think anytime we can play shutout football on defense, obviously is a confidence boost for that defense that, hey, no matter who you're playing, you want to play well against an opponent, but it gives us that confidence that we can go out and play well against anybody.
Having depth, just going back to what you said about that, what's the importance of, having the young guys being able to, preparing them to be able to come in and just, add depth and being able to just really play and not take a step down from.
Yeah, well, you take a guy like your brother Dante. He can't play 70 snaps in a game at a high level,
right?
But he can play 50 at a high level. Now, where's that next 20 snaps come from? And that's where it's critical. And what you look for is you want to have the next guy or the third guy that can come in and give you 20 snaps, but there not be a huge drop off.
Right.
And that's what you try to do across the board. And I think those games like that allow you to see guys in game action because it's just like you go to practice and guys are great, all right? But when the lights come on in front of 60,000 people, it's a little bit different.
Right.
And as the casual fan, you think, oh, it's easy, all right? It's easy to clap, but is it easy to make communication checks and those things that happen out there in the game in front of people? And it feels like the weight of the world is on you.
Right.
And so getting out there and letting those young guys play only will enhance our football team.
And for the young guys, what's the importance of the D-line, getting to the quarterback quick so the young guys don't have to cover, let's say, a veteran wide receiver that knows, the ins and outs of his position? Like, what is the importance of, them being able to come in and do that?
Yeah, well, fresh legs is always good, especially, on third down when you can rush the passer and get after the quarterback some. It doesn't allow quarterbacks to sit back there and pat the ball,
right.
Especially when we have a young secondary like we do. Being young in terms of guys that have, only have played 3 games here at WVU, and our most veteran DB was lost after 12 plays of the game, who is arguably one of the best DBs in the Big 12, if not in the country. And so that game and those opportunities, those reps for those young D linemen, getting a chance to go rush the passer is only going to help our coverages as we move forward.
What kind of an update can you give on Charles Woods?
He is back in the training room rehabbing. We think he'll be back in a few weeks. That's not up to me; it's up to the medical team. But he's got the best doctor in the country at the in the orthopedic world for the injury that he had to his ankle, and it was a blessing that we could get him in with that caliber of a doctor, orthopedic guy, to get that surgery. And other people that have had the same surgery have come back in 4 to 6 weeks. We just hope good Lord's looking down upon us and allows it to allows him to get back in, I guess it'd be 3 weeks now.
Right. So talk about the DBs that have had to step up. I mean, I know you coach that position specifically as well. Who have you been impressed with so far through 3 games?
Yeah, well, I think, one of the guys that has really had to step up has been Rashad Ajayi. He's had to step up. He's gotten a lot more opportunities. Wesley McCormick at corner has stepped in and played. I would say one of the young guys that's really come along at corner has been Jacoby Spells. Being a freshman, sometimes, you get a little bright-eyed, but the game is starting to slow down for him. He got to play significant reps the other day. And then, you look at safety. I think a guy like Malachi Ruffin, who has been a guy that's what I call steady Eddie. You don't notice him a ton on the stat sheet, but he can play multiple positions because he's very intelligent. He knows the scheme. And so he's played corner. He started at corner versus Kansas. Last week he moved back and played safety. So, you talk about a guy that you can move around to 2 or 3 different positions. Those guys are invaluable. It's kind of like having a toolbox with one tool that can do 10 jobs, So I would say those few guys have really, not being starters, have really come on. And then last week, Hershey McLaurin getting an opportunity to play. He had the best day of anybody on special teams, and he got a lot more reps. And I think as he gets more reps, anytime you come from junior college, it's some people go, oh, well, he's a sophomore, he's a junior. Junior college is a huge step from going from Power 5, junior college to Power 5. It's a big gap. And it takes guys a little bit of time to catch up to the speed of the game, and he's starting to get there where we thought he would be when we recruited him.
Yeah, no doubt. And just, speed of the game, you tell the people that are listening to this podcast that, it's very rare for a freshman or young guy to be able to come in and, make an impact right away. And you just tell them how difficult that is.
Yeah, so one thing, that's a great topic. I love to get on a soapbox about this because when you're a casual fan, 247 doesn't play, right? So the 247 Rivals does all these ratings, and the casual fan gets all jacked up. He's a 4-star, right? Oh, that's awesome. Who is he playing against as a 4-star? He's playing against high school people, all right? Now he's playing against the best of every team that those schools recruited, right. A collection of players, and now it evens the playing field out a little bit.
Right.
So if he's a 4-star, that's great, but now how is he going to perform at the college level? And there's always a transition. And the biggest transition for almost every kid, when you talk about, let's talk about offense, defensive line, it's the size, strength, all right, and the speed, all right, of a big guy that can move really quickly, right? As a defensive back, it's not necessarily always the speed of the game, because a lot of times those guys are agile and they can run, but the strength of a receiver like Bryce Ford Wheaton, who's 6'3", 220, as opposed to going against a guy that's 6'2", 160 in high school is totally different, all right? And you're talking about going against 22-year-old grown men and going against 15, 16-year-olds in high school.
Yeah, I've seen 5-stars, come in and not do nothing. I was rated a 3-star. I was a 2-star at first and then got rated as a 3-star. And I came in and did way more than the 5-stars, 4-stars would. So I was telling people right away that those stars don't mean nothing. When you get to college, those stars, you might as well throw those stars in the trash. Because at the end of the day, there's kids that are 0-stars, 1-stars that are hungry and they don't care. You got to prove to, like for me, you got to prove to me you're a 5-star. You got to prove to me you're a 4-star. Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna respect you because we're all here in the same building, but you got to show me if you're really like that.
That's correct.
So
yeah, I've always thought the same thing. I mean, like in sports, these guys come in and they, freshman year, they kind of like bowing up, right? Well, guess what? You're on a team now full of all good players. And you're not like the best. You're playing with the best now. And that's a hard adjustment a lot in any sport.
Yep.
Yes, more mental than anything.
Right.
I think it's a mental adjustment because now you have to go back to being the hardest worker, trying to climb the depth chart as opposed to when you're in high school and you're you're the best basketball player, you're the leadoff hitter, or you're the quarterback, or whatever it may be. Everybody kind of, he's the best player.
Yeah,
so
they don't really challenge.
They don't really challenge them as much. Now they come to college and it's like, well, I'm not the man anymore. Coach is not telling me how good I am every single day.
Yeah. Not that pat on the back all the time,
and that was a
right?
big adjustment for me, or not even just me, but just with everybody. I was high school, you're the best one on your team. Like you said, no one says nothing. They just let you be the best guy on the team. Then you come up here, everybody just big, fast, stronger than you. The But what separates you is the details and like how hard like work you want to do. You know, there's days where people don't want to work hard, so they'll slack off. But those are the days you gotta just push it, and
Yes.
people don't understand that. You guys, it's a really a hard grind. Those first, say for me, it was 2 years, and you just gotta just keep your head down and go.
Yeah, and the other piece that as a casual fan you don't realize is the toll that this level of football takes on your body, because you're really technically not, but you're 7 days a week, you're 300 days a year plus.
A lot of wear and tear.
And Coach Brown talks about this all the time. We're a practice sport. You get 12 games to go out and play and perform every Saturday. So if you go out and have a bad game, you only got 11 left. You know, in baseball, you can go out and go 0 for 4 and strike out 4 times. Next day, we got another game, so go get them tomorrow.
Right.
But in football, you got 7 days to, you know, live in that sorrow to try to get ready for that next game. You just don't have as many opportunities, so you can't squander one at all.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, you're watching Climbing the Mountain, presented to you by Country Roads Trust and Encova Insurance, your one-stop shop for your home, auto, business, and life insurance needs. Well, Coach, you mentioned 7 days. No 7 days this week. It's a short week. You are playing Virginia Tech Thursday night. They have a short week as well. Talk about how things get condensed and how you prepare for a Virginia Tech coming off a short week, or, you know, when you have a short week here.
Yeah, well, I think you got to go back to your basic things that you've done, what's got you up to this point, and the things you've done well, things you've done poorly. You got to work on them, or you got to throw them out because you don't have as much time. And it's condensed for both teams. The other thing that, like we just talked about, is the toll on the body. So you can't beat and bang as far as a full tackle type of practice on a short week. So you got to do more kind of like an NFL schedule where you do a walkthrough, you do a helmet and shoulder pad practice type of practice where it's nothing tackling to the ground, and you really get one hard work day. And then you know, you get what we call a no sweat Thursday, which will be tomorrow, and then Wednesday we have a fast Friday, which is what we would call it on a normal week, and then we're on the bus going to Blacksburg on Wednesday evening. So it's a short week. You got to condense everything you do, and it'll come down to who executes, who plays the hardest, as opposed to what coach has the cutest schemes on Thursday night.
Right. And I would imagine when you're coming off a big win, you know, putting up a lot of points, defense didn't give up any points. Like, those guys are probably like rip-roaring ready to go. So this could be a good thing. Like, this is a short week because they just don't have a lot of time to think, and they're probably still going off the adrenaline and the win. And all right, let's keep that momentum going. You think there's any truth to that?
Well, I think anytime you play a rivalry game, a regional opponent that gets the buzz going from a fan base, just like playing the team up north, I think there's not a lot of motivation that needs to be given to the players. I think they get a little extra pep in their step playing a rivalry type of game. You know, this environment going into Blacksburg and Lane Stadium it'll be rowdy, be very similar to what we experience here at our home stadium. And so we've got to be ready to go play on the road. I like going on the road. I feel like it's us against the world. That's kind of a underdog mentality when you're going against their fans and their team. I think that the cool thing is when you can play well and keep the fans quiet.
Yeah, and this is a trip that West Virginia hasn't made to Blacksburg since 2004. And Virginia Tech is really, this season, they're 2-1. They have really based their success on their defense. West Virginia probably more so their offense. So, I mean, this is going to be either a high-scoring affair, low. I mean, you're kind of going like head-to-head here with these two, opposite sides of the ball. So, what are you guys expecting from Virginia Tech?
Well, we're expecting them to obviously be physical. That's been their staple, that program for a long time. Be physical. They're going to play hard. They're not going to beat themselves. And it's going to be a rowdy environment. It's going to be a hard-hitting physical game. It'll come down to who executes, just basic fundamental football. Who blocks the best? Who tackles? Who catches it? Who throws it? And then when you have opportunities where I think the game is won and lost, when you have opportunities to create turnovers, do you make those on defense and then turn them into points? That'll be the critical part of the game, that when you have a rivalry game, it'll come down to, okay, who gets a turnover here or there and creates points on short fields. I think that'll be critical, as well as always in every game, the kicking game will be a factor in a rivalry game, because everybody's so amped up and hyped up. it's so easy to try to do something that I'm not supposed to do as a player because I'm so excited and roaring ready to go, but I'm supposed to be the edge on a punt block and I don't get the edge and all of a sudden they fake a punt or whatever it may be. But there'll be those types of things in this game that we've got to be prepared for.
Yeah, no doubt, just being able to stay poised and, just having the correct discipline, beating these rival games, like you said, it's easy to just, be worried about how many fans are cheering, especially at away games. Like you said, it's us against the world. So at the end of the day, it's just all about who makes the least mistakes and just whoever wants it more because they're trying to get that trophy back.
Yeah.
And I've been seeing all over social media for the last year, we got that trophy for so-and-so days, and they see that. So they're trying to get that back. So they're going to make as little mistakes as they can.
Yeah, and it's a trophy game, and those are always fun. But, playing a regional rivalry, man, it's nothing like it.
Right.
And WVU fans always get rowdy for regional rivalry games, and it makes it fun. It creates a buzz, and you're just excited as a player and a coach to get the opportunity to be in the arena.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool for West Virginia, 2 regional rivalry games in the first 4 games.
It's like Christmas twice a year.
Yeah,
so
right? Exactly. Well, Coach Brown, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much, and go get those Hokies.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
All right, appreciate it. All right, coming up after the break, we are going to be joined by CJ Donaldson right here in the studio. Stay with us. You're watching Climbing the Mountain, brought to you by Encova Insurance and Country Roads Trust. We'll be right back. This Climbing the Mountain podcast is brought to you by Encova Insurance. Hard work and passion are critical components of any winning strategy. Count on Encova Insurance as your local team to provide peace of mind. Welcome back to Climbing the Mountain, brought to you by Encova Insurance and Country Roads Trust. We are joined by the man of the hour, the man of the first 3 games, CJ Donaldson. CJ, welcome to the studio. We appreciate having you here.
Happy to be here.
Is it like tough for you to like stop and slow down? I feel like you're always on the go.
Yeah, it's kind of tough because I'm still a freshman, so like freshman
trying to adjust to.
Yeah, adjust to it. It's kind of like hard to get used to the schedule. So.
Well, let's talk about you. I mean, you are a true freshman. You have racked up 274 yards, 6 touchdowns. I mean, what's it like out there? I mean, you are making an immediate impact for the Mountaineers.
It's just out there. I'm just having fun. It's just still like playing football since like way back in high school, and Optum is just football. You just gotta have fun with it. Once it stops being fun, that's when it's really nothing else to do with it.
Let's talk about your transition. You came in as a tight end. They transitioned you to running back. Talk about when that happened, and what was your reaction? Were you like, I don't know, or were you like, heck yeah, let's do this? Like, how did that start happening, and your reaction to that?
Well, it was my first week here. As I said in the interview, I probably say June 7th. That's when the transition happened. Coach Brown brought me into his office, sat me down, and talked to me like one-on-one about realistic situations on the possibility of me playing tight end and the possibility of me playing running back. And it was a higher chance of me getting on the field at running back. So when the opportunity was at hand, I took it.
What was that like for you? Had you ever seen yourself as a running back?
No, I just see myself as a football player because I mentioned that I never played the same position back-to-back years ever. Like each year I played football, I never played the same position.
Yeah, and we were talking about that earlier. I mean, when you play all these different positions, then you have a chance to play something. I mean, you might not be playing nearly as much if you were listed as the tight end, right? Playing in that scheme. So, yeah it's always good to be a mix of everything.
Yeah, and being able to just come in and adjust like that, as a freshman, it's very unheard of. And you being able to come in and make an impact like that is unheard of too. So you're shocking everybody, man. And not even just like talent-wise, just you being able to carry yourself through this, being young, you doing an immediate impact right now. Like, it's a lot going through your head, bro. I'm telling you, like, so, and you being able to keep yourself centered and just, on the tunnel vision is impressive, bro.
Thank you.
Just talk about the transition from high school. A lot of guys, when they're true freshmen, they're not, having as much success as you are. Has the game slowed down a little bit? Like, are you still just sort of like here, just kind of getting used to everything? Or do you feel like you're really settled in with academics, the football, the schedule, and the demands of being a collegiate athlete?
Well, I wouldn't say that. I have like big brothers who like played football in a collegiate level, and I have like big brothers on the team who like tell me things to do like they did as a freshman that didn't work out. So things that I should do to like have a better opportunity going into my freshman year and stuff like that. But it's still like a hard adjustment because I'm still have academics, have lives, have meetings. It's just like a lot. I'm not really used to it yet, but I'm just going with the flow, really.
I know after you get down here, you got to go do your academics, right? Academics first. All right. Well, that's good stuff. Well, let's just talk about this Towson win. How nice did that feel to kind of get the monkey off the back? Like, all right, we are in the win column.
Yeah, it was very nice. I haven't won a football game in almost a year, so that one was like real big. So it was very nice to put that one on our record.
Now you have a short week against Virginia Tech. This is a big rivalry game. So, you as a freshman played Pitt. You're going to play Virginia Tech, 2 regional rivalries. Is that kind of cool for you as a player coming in? Just a guy, have these big-time games that fans are really into that mean a lot to the program and to the state of West Virginia?
Of course, it means a lot. I've been watching West Virginia since middle school when Tavon Austin played here. So I've been watching them play Virginia Tech and Pitt since a little kid. So it's a great experience. Like, I'm happy to have the experience to play where Tavon Austin played at, too.
Have you had a chance to talk to him yet?
No, but I talked to Pac-Man Jones, though. That was one of my biggest mentors growing up. I used to watch him all the time.
Really?
Because he's like from where I'm from too. So it's just like,
what kind of advice has he given you?
Just really like staying level-headed, like just stay focused into the game.
Yeah.
The game gonna treat you right if you just treat it right too. If you get too big of a head, right now, then it's gonna humble you. The game gonna humble you, and the game don't care at all. So just being able to trust what you got, and you got the talent for sure. We've seen it the first game, and it surprised everyone because, like I said earlier, it's very rare for a freshman or a young guy to come in and make an impact right away. And we were just telling the coaches that, Coach Brown that, and it's impressive, man. And I'm excited to see how you do during this crowd versus Tech. It's a lot, man. They come crazy, and it's also West Virginia, so they gonna be at y'all's head for even more. So I'm gonna be down there watching y'all. So I'm excited to see how y'all do.
Let's talk about this Virginia Tech team. They have kind of built their success this year on defense, on the back of their defenders. West Virginia's success has really been, defensively against Towson, but the offense has really been clicking from game one, even though we've had those first 2 losses. This is a game that is super important, obviously, not just for wins, losses, but then you are bouncing into conference play after this. So just talk about the importance of this game as you look ahead to the real mission of, the Big 12 championship.
Well, this game is very important. It's another big rivalry, just the same atmosphere as Pitt. So we have to come in there with the same intention on like having a great game. We just got to stick to the little things. Like I was talking to Coach Scott the other day. He said people always see the big things, but they don't realize the little things create the big things. So I feel like as an offensive standpoint, we just got to execute and just do the little things right, which will make the big plays.
Yeah, how fun is this offense? I mean, we talked to Bryce Ford-Wheaton last week, airing it out with JT. But, obviously the rushing game this year has really been phenomenal as well. For you being in this offense, how exciting is that? And just how much fun is it right now?
It's very fun. Like JT, he's like, people may see him as like a stuck-up guy, like a guy who really doesn't talk for real. Like he's a very funny guy. So that's a surprise for me because when I first met JT, I did not expect him to be that way. Then our offensive line is just like, all they do is like we connect so well. Just like we out there really having fun. Like it's just different.
I could just see that with y'all too. Just like the chemistry is getting better, and having a great line as running back is a dream because you actually be able to display your talents the right way. And you guys having that relationship, it just makes everything so much better. And it's really, we see it on the field, and it's starting to pay off. Sure.
How much does somebody like Tony Mathis, who's been here a few years, those older guys, that experience, how much does that help you on this journey? As
I was saying earlier, I have like big brother on the team. One of them is Tony. Tony always makes sure like I'm where I was supposed to be at the right time. Like, cause Tony, he was a freshman at one point in time, so he know like what I'm going through, and he's just trying to make sure I stay on the right path and don't like take the wrong turn.
Let's talk about your journey to West Virginia. You're from Miami,
right?
How do you end up here in the mountains of West Virginia, CJ?
Well, I have a teammate by the name of Travis Lathan who was committed here too. We played on the same team, so. Going into my senior year, my recruitment was really it wasn't that good. I didn't really have that many schools. And then when West Virginia saw me because of Trey, they had offered me. Then Travis was in my ear all day like, you go commit. So then I took my official visit the week before signing day. And then from there, it was just like I knew that's where I wanted to be.
And you being in a college, not even just you in general, but, there's a lot of players that go to colleges because, that's the only option. But if you go to a college that we really love, it just makes everything so much better. Like you loving the campus, you loving really everything that goes into it is gonna make you play more. And just you being here and actually loving it is just it's showing.
All right, you are watching Climbing the Mountain, a video podcast brought to you by Encova Insurance and Country Roads Trust. Hard work and passion are critical components of any winning strategy. Count on Encova Insurance as your local team to provide peace of mind. All right, a short week, CJ. How do you handle that? This is your first short week as a player here. So what's that been like for you so far?
Just really talking to the older guys, like what things that I do to get my body back right before Thursday, like trying to do more recovery, more stretching, more like body maintenance to make sure I'm at my best on Thursday night.
Because people don't really, them short weeks take a toll.
Right.
You play Saturday and you're sore Sunday, but that sore hits Monday, and then you gotta go play Thursday. You're like, oh my goodness, I'm still trying to work off the soreness from last week, and that's really what dictates who wins the game. Did VTech they have a short week too?
Yeah, they played well.
So y'all both, so y'all not the only one that's going through this. So just keep that in mind. So what y'all do this week is gonna prepare y'all for the game. Out recover them, outlift them, out play them, speed, all that. So and all that stuff leading up to the game is gonna show in the field. So we're gonna see who we're really about to get after this week.
CJ, let me ask you something. Are you surprised at your performance so far this season?
It's kind of shocking to me, but not really because I'm a football player, as I mentioned, but like the way that I play a running back, because I never played running back for real. I just got handoffs and then just made people miss. Yeah. But I have a great coach, great O-line, great mentors on the team who just try to make sure I'm doing the right things. So that's really play a big impact on my game.
Yeah, to prepare for this, I was looking at the NCAA stats, and there were 199 players listed. I was looking at the rushing stats, and you, I think, are 34th best total rusher in the NCAA and FBS. And there were only 2 tight ends listed, you, and then the other one was a guy that he only has 121 yards, but I think that's pretty phenomenal. Being out there, let's talk about Towson. 3 touchdowns. You ran for what, 80? You were like an 82-yarder, 84-yarder?
82.
How was that? That must have been pretty fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I say during the Kansas game, I didn't have my best week of practice. So when we came back, Coach Scott was telling me things that I should do to improve myself, finish with game behavior, try to finish through the line. When I pass the defense, get a 10-yard brace. Coach Mike was on me about that very hard. So that 82-yard run was kind of natural. So it just felt like I supposed to did that.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I was surprised you didn't get a flag for doing this. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, I got a little coaching. I got a little coaching points on that too.
That's all right. You got to learn early, right?
It's all good.
As long as you learn. So we know the message last week around here was we got to focus on West Virginia. What is the message this week in this building as you prepare for the Hokies?
Same way. We just got to focus on West Virginia. We only can control what we could do. So we just got to focus on ourselves and invest in ourselves.
How fun was it to see the defense get a shutout?
It was very, very, very fun because we have a great defense, and then they're starting to connect now. So when their chemistry keep building up, they're going to be very special. We have a great defense.
Yeah. What do you think of this guy's brother?
Oh, Dante. Dante's one of my big brothers too. Dante makes sure I'm okay, but Dante he's a beast. I ain't gonna lie. In practice, Dante, he say, "Little bro, if we was on different teams, I would have to do it to you."
I asked Tony. I was on the same thing with Tony. Whenever I was there, I would say I'm always there. Because every time we'd run somewhere, I'm always right there. And he's like, man, why you always right here? And I'm like, that's the new motto now. So every time I see him around, still, I'm like, I'm always there, bro. And he'd be like, hey, no doubt, I see it. So yeah, man, I'm excited to see what y'all do, man. Y'all, the confidence is boosting. So, and that win really is helping y'all. Y'all supposed to win that, but at the end of the day, stuff happens. But and y'all took care of business, 65-7.
Yes.
Jeez, that's crazy right there, man.
Yep.
I didn't get a chance to be at the game because I was in Martinsburg. I was out of town. But just, I was keeping up with Google on the score and everything and watching highlights and stuff. And y'all look good. Just got to keep stacking them days, stacking them games. And y'all going to be good.
Thank you.
What do you think of just how the season has gone? I mean, some highs and lows, but it seems like through the first 3 games, everybody's still tight. Those first 2 losses were tough. No doubt about that. That could have broken people apart, could have broken the team apart. But it seems like everybody is still gelled, still bought in. Is that how you guys feel? That's what it feels like from the outside looking in.
Yeah, you got to trust the climb. Just like I think our last day of summer workouts, we ran the hill, and we all invested in we're going to stick together no matter what. So us running those reps at the hill, basically brought us together, saying we basically signed the contract saying that we're going to invest no matter what happens.
Yeah.
We're going to stick with each other.
Yeah. No doubt.
And it really brings teams together whenever everybody's at a weak point because that really shows what type of team you are. And or hill is a perfect example. 4 reps in, 5 reps in, y'all, everybody want to quit.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's bigger than that. Y'all got 3 more reps, and it's like, all right, this is the reps we need for each other. We're all tired. We all just need to push through. And just for example, on my part, I remember my last time running the hill, we had to run 8 of them, I think. And we were on rep 6. No big linemen, we're 300 pounds. We couldn't feel our legs, nothing. And we all was just like, man, we got to stick together. The game comes in the trenches every game.
Yep.
So if we can get through this, then we can get through anything. These games aren't going to be as hard as this hill.
Yep.
So you overcome the hill, you're good.
Right.
Yep. Well, CJ, we appreciate you joining us. It has been a pleasure and so much fun to watch you. We can't wait to watch your progression the rest of the season and throughout your Mountaineer career. So go get them this week.
Thank you.
Thank you, CJ. Appreciate it. And thank you for watching Climbing the Mountain. For Darius Stills, I'm Amanda Mazey and our crew behind the scenes. We appreciate you watching. We'll be back here next week getting you ready for Texas when the Mountaineers head down to Austin. Thanks again for watching. This is Climbing the Mountain, brought to you by Encova Insurance and Country Roads Trust. Don't forget, Country Roads Trust is on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all over social media, and you can find out more about our memberships and supporting WVU student athletes by going to join.countryroadstrust.com. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week. This Climbing the Mountain podcast is brought to you by Encova Insurance. Hard work and passion are critical components of any winning strategy. Count on Encova Insurance as your local team to provide peace of mind.